Here we have Dr. Kaustav Sengupta, a distinguished futurist academician and domain expert in generative AI, currently serving as the head of this year next, Associate Professor and lead chairperson at National Institute of Fashion Technology. With over 25 years of experience, Dr. Sengupta has provided strategic foresights, technological expertise, and trend consultancies to globally renowned brands such as Nike, Nokia, Vodafone, Coca-Cola, Hyundai, Kia Motors, NTT Data, Sony, Samsung, Apple, Wild Republic, USA, Plant UK. I think it's more continental stuff, right? Skull Candy Extra. He's a member of Vision 2047 for Government of India, Ministry of Textiles, and the boards of studies for 5 universities and 1 lady college, contributing his expertise to shape the future business and design academia of this nation. As a jury panelist for the prestigious India Design Mark initiative by the Government of India, Dr. Sengupta has been instrumental in recognizing excellence in design. He has been in the jury panel of Images Retail Award and Good Design Award by the Indian Design Council by Government of India. A sought-after speaker, he has started his insight at multiple TEDx conferences, Think Edu Conclave, CIA Conclaves, Titan Youth Insights Panels, Lenovo Youth Insights Panels UK, and Edelman Roundtables, among others. It is with immense pleasure that we at Cats and Annual Partner Summit welcome Dr. Kaustav Sengupta as a keynote speaker. Sir, the stage is yours. It's amazing to be in the stage where our veteran was here just a few minutes back. It's my humble pleasure to be here. Thank you. What we are going to talk about is design and what India is doing and what India should do as part of it. That's the gist of my talk, and let me move on. So this is a little portfolio of mine. These are the brands I work for. Some of the brands I'm still working. And if you can look at it, it has a vast array of products, right from a brand like Skull Candy to a brand like BBC. So when we talk about design, it's pretty wide. It's not about one single domain. It's pretty large. And when you think about design, it impacts everyone at large. So what we're going to talk about is something called design economy. And this is where the differentiator comes in, because this is what we need to focus on. It's not about creative economy, it's about design economy at large. We have done pretty well. We have almost 36% increase in the approach as such, but when you look at the data sets, it's not that impactful because we still are lagging in context of filing patents or kind of investment what we are looking at in the context of design. This is a little data on the global side. You can see the amount of patents that China has registered, the patents what the South Korea is registering, and where we are pretty touching Germany, but we are still far off. And when we talk about the science and technology cluster, I can only see one name of a city. Unfortunately, I don't see the other names of the city in the global map as part of it. And these are not my data, I'm just speaking of global data as such. And this is what the design economy looks like. This is UK, Britain, and this is their design economy. Every city has their own design economy. And that's about Atlanta and the number of designers working in Atlanta as part of a group. So design economy is powerful when we talk about selling design as a context at large. But what about us? Were we the same that we lagged behind earlier? What was our past contribution when it comes to design? What we did? Do we really know how much we designed in the past? And I will show you some of the examples what we designed. And I don't know how many of you knew that these are our designs. For example, all of you are wearing one part of your garment that was designed, innovated, and created in this country. That's button. The button what you are seeing here is around 4,000 years old. It was in Harappa, and button has not changed. That means it was so perfectly designed that nobody could even touch it. It remains safe till date, right? And you are wearing it, but you really most probably know that that is our design. That's the fate of this country. We don't know what we created. And neither we feel proud of it, right? We also designed this one, and we used to export it. This is called a Carline stone. This we used to export at a time when this country used to be known as Meluha. Meluha means the highest land. 10,000 years back, 6,000 years back, we used to export jewelries at that time, right? And this also designed in India. This was found in Harappa, and till date nothing changed in it. That means we designed something so perfect, it has not changed yet. Even the modern technology could not do anything with the dice. The dice remains same. And it designed in this land, in India. And what we did with it? We played games. But do you still know that this game, what you are playing, was also designed in this nation? We think it came from abroad. We call it as a snake and ladder. This was not snake and ladder. This was called as gang chopper, which was copied, stolen from this nation by someone called Milton Bradley in 1952. And they created snake and ladder, but gang chopper is the original snake and ladder. And gang chopper is to be played to see who is sinning and who is doing good. That's why the snake and ladder game came in. And that was the idea of a game. We design games, we design products, we don't know what we designed. That's the problem of this nation. We never felt proud of our own product, never hold it up, right? We designed mirrors. We exported mirrors. The mirror what you are seeing there is found in Pompeii. It's called Pompeii Lakshmi. This particular mirror went from South India, and this same mirror is still designed. If anybody is from Kerala, you know this mirror. Yes. But you know what is the specialty of this mirror? Apart from not knowing how to make it. Only few families knows how to make it. But what is the specialty of this mirror? No. You are almost right. But the thing is that this mirror, the image is in the front of the mirror. Rest of the mirrors, whatever you are using in your life, including your mobile phone, the mirror is in the back of the mirror. That means you can never touch the image. That is why this mirror is to be given to the gods and the leaderships, because they can only touch the image. People like us should not touch our image. That was the ideology of a mirror. It's still given to the god, still gifted to the god. But this particular mirror is to be exported from India. We used to export even mirrors. I'm talking about 4,000 years back, 5,000 years back. We used to export mirrors. We still don't know what we have in this country, right? And then we also had very interesting product in this same land where you are standing. It's called Valari. You must have seen movies on Valari. But this is the weapon which was much better than boomerang. You throw it, it cuts, and then it comes back in your hand. And it was made with a steel which was also invented in the same land called wood steel. And this particular steel is to be used to make Valari. So when British entered in South India, they first did is destroying all Valari but take one and kept it in British Museum. So you don't have Valaris in our land, that's one Valari in British Museum, right? Because it was so perfect. And the Valari is to cut in 3 different ways. If they want to kill, they will cut the neck. If they want to damage you, they will cut the leg. And if they just want to impact you, they will cut the stomach. Valari could have been thrown in 3 different ways. So you knew how to throw a Valari, now we don't know. Neither we have a Valari. We never recreated a Valari back again, right? This is our pleasure. This is design when we talk about design, right? At large. Why it happened? Why we lost all those things what we think about design, and even not design, we lost the knowledge of that this belongs to us. Nobody told us. Nobody wrote it in the book, in our textbook in the schools. So we thought all of this coming from abroad, right? It's called colonial cleansing. Almost 500 years, we have been under multiple colonial rules. I'm just giving a little history on it. What happened in this entire colonial cleansing? The design got erased off. What we got is an invention, extraction, the knowledge being extracted and transported in other country. We had something called exploitation because the knowledge will be used for someone else, and then extinction. They will kill the knowledge off. It is the normal system of colonialism. This is how colonialism works as part of it, right? But what we had long back, I'm just showing two civilizations, not large, only two. One is a civilization called Lothal, and another civilization comes from this land called Pilin. And you all know that. We are fighting over it. But both the civilizations had something amazing. They had amazing drainage system 4,000 to 5,000 years back. And they knew how to make bricks at that particular time and the well to save the water. Right? Not only that, they also knew how to make 3 layers of cities as part of it. And they made the first toilet, and the toilet never changed. The same toilet we are still using. Right? It's called squat toilet. It is so perfect that today the Europeans are saying the squat toilet is better because it's good for your health. Not the toilet what you are using, right? 4,000 years back, we did that. We also knew how to make potter's wheel and create potteries. Europeans never knew, so they made potteries by hand. They never had a potter's wheel at that particular time. We had toys which used to move, right? Same, we are talking about Lothal, 4,000 years back. And this is how the Europeans used to live. They never knew how to make a brick, so they used to use stone. Same timeline. They never knew how to make a house, so they just made a round house. No potter's wheel, so they used to make things with hand. Still, same timeline I'm talking about. This is the problem of our nation. We don't know our own timeline, how we grew. And how contemporary were all these designs we designed long back? Let me show you some of them. They never changed, they are almost similar. For example, this one. What you are seeing, this sickle, is from a place called Chandraketugar. Sickle has not changed, the sickle is remained same. Right? The product is so perfectly designed. And we have this boat called Kattumaram, which later on became Catalan, and nobody gave a credit to us. This is the same boat what the Cholas used to go to other countries because it was one of the fast moving boats. Our fishermen still uses these boats, right? We never claim that this is our design, right? It's so ergonomically designed that it never goes down in the water, never merges in this process, right? And then a lot of utensils, including this one, it's called lota, being used by multiple religious groups at multiple times as such, have not changed. Lota is one of the most perfect design because now the designer is talking about how perfect a lota is because it can be used for multiple purposes at time, right? These are Indian designs, what you are looking at. We never had things called fashion because we had better things than fashion. We had something called Shringar, which basically talks about decorating yourself to look attractive. We had something called Alankara, it's called Muhura. Muhura is the posture, how you will stand. We had styling, we had other things. We never had things for generic group of people. We had different types of dressings and ornamentals depending on who you are. So we had our own shastras on how you will dress up, for what profession you will dress up how. It's called part of Shilpa Shastra, and Vishnu Purana is also having this description. So we are talking about body postures almost 1,000 years back at part of it. Before even the word fashion came, we had this. Now these are all fine, these are good. What to do now? What shall we do as a nation? So I'll just show you some of these interesting things happening in the part of world in context of design. And you might be thinking what to do with it. I'll show you what the country is doing with it. Very interestingly, one of the major shifts what's happening in design is in the context of generative AI. Almost every designer is using a tool of Gen AI, and generative AI is impacting a large domain of designs. In fact, it's going to erase a lot of jobs. At one time, I don't think in next 10 years there will be a job for a graphic designer, generic graphic designer. Maybe there might not be a job for a generic photographer, unless the person is too creative and he has his own style of photography. You don't need a photographer. You might not require a model. You might not require a skill of drawing at all, because all of this will be done by generative AI. I will show you what we are being a part of it. And this is how the market is growing for this generative AI. This is a Gartner's data. It shows how fast that market is growing, how large is this market, and are we impacting that market as a country, are we doing it? This is what I am doing. I don't touch pencils nowadays. My drawings are done in machine, my prints are done by machine, and then I put that print in that drawing, I do absolutely beautiful photo shoot without a studio. I don't need a studio. I don't need human resources either, right? I create textures. I can create a puller in golden color in number 3 zipper with a cutting edge on the side. I can do a photo shoot with the model I want. I don't need a model. I don't need a stylist either. So all those jobs are going, right? And then I do this. My products can move a little bit. The model can swim. And then I can just do a fashion show wrap. I don't need anybody. It's called machineries. Now the designers are going to become a machinery, and you don't need a design studio at all. Now this looks interesting. I can do something else also. I can do a Vogue-like photo shoot. Right? Vogue-like photo shoot. Right? You can do that. You can do anywhere in the road. Sorry for the stretching of the image, but he's not that fat. And then I can take a drawing. I can convert it to a CAD. I actually don't need a CAD in this context. Maybe on an industrial design, yes, we need it. But for a drawing perspective, for spec sheets, I don't need it. I can convert it to a different photo shoot. All of this is done in my low-code system. I don't need to know coding. I just need to have something called prompt engineering. So if you know prompt engineering, if you know basics of that, many of these jobs are going to vanish. So they say Gartner says almost 48% jobs will vanish in next 5 years. We may not require them at all. Right? This is where the design is moving. This is where the experimentation is moving in life, and the technology is much faster than we even predict how it will impact us. This is what I am doing for the car industry. Right? I designed a new color. They design color for me. Right? And I don't need a mixer and a pigmenter to do the color. I can just do it in my little system on a laptop. Right? If my gamma is right. And this is where India is positioned. So this is where India is growing. We are in the 4th level of AI invention. We are much higher. See that? We are higher than South Korea. We are higher than Japan. We are higher than France in context of AI integration. Right? And this is where I see a possibility of the industry to move. And this is not my data set. This is a global AI data set. And this is where our other strength comes in. It might be just a data set, but the other strength shows that this is Edelman's data. It says that 36% is very high on context of India when it comes to youngsters. That means our youngsters think their future is brighter. What it means? It means that those who is higher, their youngsters don't think their future is brighter. That means our workforce is more positive than the workforce in the other list on the side. It impacts when it comes to innovation and design at large. We are also having design council. The design council is being formed. We have a design award. I am in the panel. So good design recognition awards started coming. But then a very interesting thing happened in 2017. Our Prime Minister told that let's impact a larger goal. It's not only about design, it's about the image of the nation. Why we need to do that? Because as a species, we all are under the species called Homo sapiens. This country represents 17% of Homo sapiens. And those countries who tells what to do, see their percentage. Right? France is 0.82. 0.82% Homo sapiens are telling 17% Homo sapiens what to do. And we listen to them. Right? Imagine Scandinavia. This is great designs happen in Scandinavia. We call Nordic design. What is their percentage in the world? What is their GDP growth? Right? With that, and some of them must be going negative now. With this kind of a situation, we are listening to a group of individuals who stands nowhere with the number of representation of our nation as such. What to do now? So this is what we are doing. This is something we call as a model, we call as a race model, where how to impact the world in context of design. We first need to do something called respect and construct your own language. That means you respect your own design. It's very important to respect, right? Respect your own design. Say this is a good design, right? Second part it comes is to research and find out what all can be impacted at large. Then the second one says be aware that this is happening in the world And then you come to something called conserve. Good design should be conserved. You cannot just throw it out because it just happened at a time. And at the end, you should exhibit that these are your design as part of it. Now, why we are talking about it? Because we understand a very single little sloka, because this is what I believe in. This says that if you have a desire, then only you will have a will. If you have a will, then you will have a deed. And the deed will make your destiny. It was told 2000 years back. We never have a desire to have it. Unless you have a desire, you cannot build up your destiny. Now, if I'm telling how we don't have a desire, let me show you. How many of you think that ghee is a clarified butter? Let me tell you, ghee is not a clarified butter, ghee is ghee. Right? If I talk about half sari, and many of us go to abroad and they say, oh, this looks like a long skirt, we agree. Yes, looks like a long skirt. No, this is not a long skirt. This is called as half sari. And this is called as a lehenga. Lehenga is very different than half sari. Why we need to do that? Do this to a Japanese. Tell a Japanese that sushi is nothing but boiled herbs, boiled rice, and just uncooked vegetable. Tell someone to a Japanese, they'll throw you out from the nation. Tell a Italian that pizza is nothing but it's a naan, and you add a little topping on top of it, and it's called thin crust pizza. You go to Italian restaurant even in Chennai and tell this, that Indian will react on you. It's not an Italian, right? But we are not proud of our products. That's exactly why we are missing. Right? We don't say, no, ghee is not clarified butter, ghee is ghee. Dahi is not curd. The process of churning is very different. Right? All of this. And then they say that dosa is nothing but a crepe. Dosa is not crepe. Dosa is dosa. Because the ingredients are different, the process of making it different, and the culture is different. You go to France and you make a dosa, they will say, oh, this is like a crepe. And we are very happy to say, yes, this is just a crepe. We will tell you, this is our problem. We never have a desire to get a destiny. Right? It's a problem of a nation. So what we are doing as a part of it, we have, in my initiative called Vision Next, in Vision Next, it's a Government of India's initiative and I'm leading it. We have crossed more than 100 Indian products in the global AI map. What happens? When you put up a lehenga or a half sari in AI map in Globe, they will map it and say long skirt. 85% match with long skirt. And then 25% others. If you have a lehenga there, they'll say it's 85% lehenga, 20% long skirt. It matters. It matters because it says that lehenga is not a long skirt. Right? And we have done it for saris. So Kanchipuram sari cannot be told as a piece of fabric. Right? When it goes to map and you don't have a sari, there is it's a piece of a fabric closest to a bed sheet. Because machine don't know. You have to teach the machine. And who will teach it? All our engineers are sitting abroad, doing their products, not our products. Right? We need to do it. You all have to do that. And that's what we did. We did a little one, we did it for 100 products. And now in our system, Kanchipuram is recognized as Kanchipuram. And all the other saris being recognized as the saris. Imagine, I cannot recognize a Kanchipuram, but my machine can recognize Kanchipuram. Right? Just like my mother. Right? Same thing happens with the saris, and that is important for us. And it's a little video of what we are doing.
The Vision Next process is primarily rooted in the cognizance of the multicultural diversity of our nation and its strong affiliation with heritage. This begins with our transporters, who are strategically located across the country. They capture real-time data and upload it to our proprietary platform that is connected to our servers. Additionally, the social media scroller sifts through signals found on various digital platforms. Following this, our AI models analyze and predict various attributes, including emotion and age, for each data point. Besides primary data points, the team also collects secondary data through various focus group discussions, articles, magazines, blogs, and other open sources. The processed data is visualized through graphs and presented for the team to understand trends over specific periods. The team can customize the analysis by choosing different variables such as time quarters, specific clothing, and various attributes to observe evolving trends. The Gen AI dashboard helps the team derive mood boards, prints, and other visual aids based on the data collected. Subsequently, our emotional intelligence team leverages this data to create insightful trend guides and comprehensive reports. Finally, these insights are disseminated into various spheres of academia and industry through impactful masterclasses, workshops, and webinars.
So we are the first ever fashion forecasting agency in this nation who's forecasting for India and Southeast Asia, and we are aspiring to forecast for the globe because that's what we are reaching now as part of the product. We are using AI and we are also using emotional intelligence. It's very important because we feel fashion is also about desire, it's not about data. And we have also started giving names to Indian names to the colors. There's nothing wrong to call black as colorful. We feel black is very cool because it's a Western name. And we feel bad to call gulabi as gulabi. If it's Rani pink, it's Rani pink, it's not fuchsia. Right? You have to be proud on your own names. We are not proud of our own names. We go abroad and change our own names. Right? Shailendra becomes Sali because we like that nicer. That's the problem of our Homo sapiens in this nation, right? We have to be proud of our own products. We are doing that with changing the names of the colors. We also launched just a forecast book recently. You can look at it. It's free from website. Almost 32,000 readers are already there. 4,000 downloads happened, and this is one of the largest trade forecasts. And this is what Prime Minister told about our initiative. Some बढ़ाइए Prime Minister है तो some
कि हम AI के माध्यम से 2026 का ट्रेंड क्या होगा, हम उसको प्रमोट कर रहे हैं। मतलब पहले दुनिया के और देश ही हम कहते थे काला पहनो और पहन लेते, अब हम दुनिया को कहेंगे क्या पहनना।
So he says we'll be the one who tell the rest of the world what we should wear because we represent 17% of the population. So I will conclude my presentation with this little note, and this is what I believe in. It says Yat Bhavat Tat Bhavati. That means what you think, you become. If you think you cannot do, you cannot do. If you think you can be the leader of this nation, you will become the leader of the nation. And this is what I will say a conclusion. Thank you.
Dr. Sengupta, I think that was not just insightful, it sort of summed up the theme, Design India, Innovate in India, and Be Proud of India, right? So, thank you. So, we have a small unveiling of one of our.
So this is our PG Diploma Volume 3 book. Okay, so we have our interior designing and 4 volumes are there. So this is the third book which we are unveiling today. Okay, so we started the PG Diploma in Interior Designing, a new course last year in November, and this is particular course is rocking around all over India. So we have done more than 120 plus registrations in this. So this is our third book.
I must thank Professor Lotson because he's here and he only recommended my name here. Thank you.
Mr. Lawson had been associated with Dream Zone from 2008. So he worked with us as a product head, okay, and now he is with NIFT. But still, from heart, he is a Dream Zone person. So he always comes to us whenever we need him. Thank you lots.